Control. Well, some young Torontonians are fighting back. Andrew Younghusband met up with the Media Collective.
The Media Collective is a peace movement in the age of information war.
There's definitely need for a huge shift in the way people think. This is big business here, and they're having more and more of an effect on how people think. And obviously their interests aren't the interests of people, it's the interest of profit.
The Media Collective is a result of the information age. The members are self-styled pop culture activists who are waging a campaign against mainstream advertising and the corporate interests that fuel it. How? Well, by advertising, of course.
It's trickle-down vandalism.
A lot of the ideas that I've grown up with, a lot of the things I've worked to get over have been implanted in me by the media that I grew up with.
It's a bull market. MCI's going up. Corporate culture is a projection, right? It's an identity that they try to project onto people rather than people finding it on their own, right? So they'll offer you, Nike will say, you can be Michael Jordan. And I'll say, well, I don't want to be Michael Jordan. I want to be Jesse Hirsch. And I look at corporate culture and Jesse Hirsch isn't there.
One of you guys want to give up a name? It's just for a report. It's up to you.
Taylor, T-A-Y-L-O-R.
Okay.
Mead, M-E-A-D.
Who's in charge here?
In charge? I think they left.
You guys just independents?
Yeah, we're all freelance expressionists.
Well, you can freelance on the sidewalk, not on private property.
Okay, where does it end?
You guys do this everywhere?
It's performance art. See, free stock tips at Big King. At Queen's Park, we give legislative advice.
So if you guys, there's a group of individuals at this 20 writing free stock tips, etc., with chalk outlines on the pavilion property.
It's a pretty good summary of the situation.
So you guys understand then? You guys can't do it on private property anymore?
This is public, we're here.
Yeah, you guys are fine where you are. Just don't go above the steps, okay?
You got it.
All right, thank you very much.
I work in media, I work in advertising. I think I'm really good at advertising. I used to run a business and I used it for that, and now I found that I'm more interested in using it to get thoughts across and ideas across. Yeah, I'm into advertising.
Okay, we're gonna go away.
All right, we'll see you later then.
Okay.
Members of the collective have been busy building their own media empire. The local 24-hour copy shop, that's their head office.
32 pages.
Do we have,
All right. 32 pages.
They publish a newspaper called The Anarchives,
See this yet?
No. The cover you'll never see on the newsstand.
a free, bi-monthly, filled with the latest news on social issues, alternative art, and of course, culture jamming.
Culture jamming generally refers to taking an aspect of popular culture, such as advertising, for example, and altering it to give it a more politically subversive message.
And this, you refer to this as sculling. Is this something that's done?
I've seen it around a lot in Toronto.
Sculling?
Sculling.
I lived in San Francisco and I saw this stuff in bus shelters there, you know, and you see it in Toronto, you see it, you know, a lot of places I've traveled, you know, wherever there's kids with, you know, indelible markers, you know.
Being involved with just one publication isn't cool enough, so Carly has her own zine, and it's definitely not cool.
This is my zine, and it's called Uncool. I had made the cover first, and it was this. And it was just kind of cutting up all the different faces that I saw in magazines of women, and I just thought that she was uncool by you know, the standard and everything. So everybody's trying to tell you it's cool. Everybody's saying, well, what you bought last year isn't cool anymore, so buy something else now. And
what's even less cool than uncool? Conrad Black.
This is a piece we did for Conrad Black's Hollinger International annual general meeting. And so it's called the Conrad Blackout Multinational Edition, with the weather being overcast, miserable, with no end in sight. And we called it the blackout in the sense that a lot of the articles in the paper are actually blacked out, especially the ones saying Conrad Black to give away papers to community activists. But the main message we wanted to get across was this, was the type of content that Conrad Black would be covering in his newspapers, especially dealing with either progressive activist or various forms of artistic causes, essentially his coverage would be nil.
The media collective see themselves as noble warriors. They boast about leveling the media playing field by giving everyone a voice, but as it turns out, even altruism has a bottom line.
There are messages you're definitely not trying to get across, right?
Yeah.
If the CEO from the bank said, I got an article.
Anyone who came who had an opinion that we didn't like and could definitely afford to put out their own, 48-page glossy magazine every day. No, you don't have time for that.
Because we want to spread our propaganda. That's basically it. And the propaganda is create your media.
To be influential in the media game requires a lot of imagination and a lot of money. But the media collective is basically broke. So for them to influence people, they have to rely on a double dose of imagination and a lot of nerve.
Another cool thing people have been doing is they're just turning off the billboards. The law requires every billboard to have a little switch breaker on it, and a lot of them are at ground level. You just turn it off. If you're out at night, you see a billboard, everything's dark except for this one thing. It's like being in a black room with a television on. You have to watch it. So I shut it off. So from sundown to sunrise, I've eliminated that billboard from existence. I've cut its airtime in half, and with the flick of a switch.
What's going on in your mind when you realize that these suits think that what you're doing is vandalism as opposed to public service or self-expression?
It's money again. It's totally money. We're on the sidewalk using chalk, doing something unconventional. Most people, when they want to express themselves, they do it through a conventional means. And, or they don't do it at all, right? Maybe if they're really courageous, they'll write a letter to the editor.
And look, here comes somebody doing your job for you.
Hey. You missed some.
For now, these young pranksters may be viewed as nothing more than a passing nuisance.
He's done this before. It's a very good job.
But in the future, they'll be well-paid advertisers and editors and journalists, right? If somebody just offered you my job, would you take that?
I don't think I'd feel comfortable spending too much time doing this, because again, the only reason, who's paying for all this? It's whichever commercial's about to come on when I finish talking.
Is that a problem?
Is it a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem because the biggest problems that we're going to face in the next few decades aren't political, they're corporate. And you're not going to hear about them on TV because they're funding it.
So what's the solution?
Can I say one word to all the people watching right now? All right. Off.
These aren't really cars anymore. They're little roving offices, fully equipped with phones, pagers, laptops, and fax machines.